So logic abusers do this thing where they will nitpick their target's word choice. And it's like a type of semantic abuse. That's not an official designation, but I read it once somewhere and I think that's accurate. So we're using it. But basically, it's that they've decided that they are the arbiter of whether you are using language correctly or not, phrases correctly or not. And if you don't, to their standard, use words or phrases to their standard, then they'll act as if they have no idea what you're talking about and that your attempt at communication with them is invalid and that they don't have to listen to anything that you've said, any points that you've made, and that nothing you say is real or valid. First of all, that's incorrect. This is not a computer program. You do not have to phrase things correctly for someone to understand what you're saying. Communication is a completely different framework. A computer program is not a person. Basically, they're trying to get you to do something imperfectly so that they can then prosecute you about it, treat you badly about it, and feel good that they're doing it because, you deserve it. They're not communicating in good faith. When you are engaged in conversation with someone, communication, there is a mutuality, like you're trying to meet in the middle. You are coming from your model of the world and experiences and information and ideas, and they're coming from theirs. And then you reach out toward the other person. It's not, oh, I have to convince this person to even listen to me on basic stuff. We're both reaching toward each other. That is the communication, the community of communication. It is not a computer program where you have to phrase things specifically because the computer doesn't have actual understanding and cannot have tolerances outside of the program. And people who act like that's how communication should be, they're basically trying to be like Alex Trebek on Jeopardy. Oh, you didn't phrase your answer in the form of a question. Therefore, this is, we're not going to accept it. That's a game show. That's not communication. Right? Like we're trying to, there's a concept in the legal field where you're, like when you're engaging with another person, like to make a contract, and there has to be like mutual understanding between the parties. Both people have to kind of like build that bridge of understanding. We understand what we're doing here. We understand what the concepts are. And therefore, then we can make this contract. It's a meeting of the minds. They don't want to meet your mind. They insist you come to their mind, and then they're going to decide whether or not they're going to accept what you're offering. And they're not doing it in good faith. And they basically are looking for reasons to act as if you're stupid or, that they don't understand what you've said, right? This person is doing worse than artificial intelligence. They are acting like a dumb computer program. Oh, you didn't phrase it correctly, therefore it's not valid, right? Do we see how intrinsically stupid that is? In their zest to make themselves feel smarter and better than you, they're literally acting like a dumb program without intelligence. The AI is doing better. Anyway, I know a lot of us have experienced this dynamic. You are not alone. They're trying to rules lawyer you. They're trying to logic you into submission. And one of the ways they do that is through nitpicking the semantics of the words or phrases you use. Now, I personally have experience in argumentation and debate. And so I have pushed back against these people effectively. I don't recommend that for victims of abuse because one, someone who does this doesn't respect you. And they're trying to position themselves in a position of power over you or like higher in the hierarchy. Like you are below them. You're not as smart as them. They're the ones who are deciding everything. They're the arbiter of reality and the conversation and communication. Two, they are not engaging with you in good faith. So this is now, you're dealing with something different than a relationship that involves communication and mutual compromise. You're dealing with somebody who's trying to power over you. And so arguing with them, just give some reasons to argue with you or to twist things against you. Most people are not able to do this effectively. 3, if you're good at it, it'll just make them mad and they'll often move to physical aggression, force, and abuse. So for most people, the last thing you want to do is engage with a semantic abuser. What you want to do is clock the behavior, understand the mindset behind it, and then do your best to get away from them. This is a person that doesn't respect you. This is a person who'll tell you that they love you, but like they don't seem to like you. And it's important to them to feel smarter than you. So they're going to do whatever they can to tear you down. So trying to use concepts that you've learned, right? Like you're watching videos, you're reading things online, and you go, oh no, this is what's happening. And then you try and explain that to the abuser. All that does is give them more concepts to use against you. It's a very different way of thinking. It's confrontational. It is not collaborative, right? This is competitive. It's not collaborative. This is somebody who it's very important to them that they're right. They're engaging in a primacy of rightness, not a primacy of kindness or relationship. Like you have drastically different values. So it's important to recognize when you're dealing with somebody who's nitpicking everything that you're saying. You don't do the thing where you start tearing yourself apart because you think, oh, if only I phrased this correctly, then they wouldn't have said this. I wouldn't have this outcome. It doesn't matter how you phrase it. They're going to find something because what they're doing is they are deciding that they get to decide whether or not what you say is valid or not. And they are motivated to think that it's not. They don't want what you say to be valid. You could correct everything that they say that they're criticizing you on, and they're still going to not accept you, not accept your points, not decide anything that you have to say is relevant or valid, right? This is not a person you are in relationship with. This is somebody who is motivated to destroy you. That, I mean, they're not going to phrase it that way, but is that not the outcome? You literally get to a point where you cannot communicate anything to them. How is that a relationship? It's not. So anyway, when you meet the troll on the bridge who has decided that you have to pass some sort of test for them to even let you pass or before they'll engage with you, you know, it's like when you try to join a club or some organization and they try to test you before they'll let you in. You know, prove you're a nerd, prove you're actually a fan of this fandom or whatever it is. And the thing is, they're doing that because they don't want you there. This is, frankly, it's low status behavior to keep people out who challenge their position because they don't want to be in a position under. Like when you see that in a fandom, that's what's going on. Like these are not people you want to engage with. They're not people who are kind and who give a shit. Anyway, I hope this makes sense, and I'll talk to you next time.